everybody. Welcome. Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' and Bangin'. Ron Onesti here with you. Rock and Roll Heaven at the Arcana Theater just outside of Chicago in St. Charles, Illinois. We have another big show tonight. Pamela DesBarres, incredible author and all kinds of other stuff. We'll talk about her. And, of course, the legendary drummer from the iconic band Foghat with us. Before we do that, I want to bring my brothers to the camera. They're ready to rock and roll. I tell you what, we had those couple days off a while back, and I've got so much energy I almost can't talk. Let's bring Vinny to the mic here. Vinny Appice, there he is, from Black Sabbath, last in line. Somebody nudge him and wake him. There he is.
Oh,
you found the hat. You found the hat.
Hat with a skull.
What is it? Look at it. Look at it.
It's Coffin Cutie. Oh no, it's something else.
What is it? That's new.
Now you know what? You know what the problem with hats? I'll put a hat on because my hair is all messed up. They never fit. My head's too big.
You got a big head? I've never heard that about you.
In size, not in personality. What's with that shirt? That must be where you're getting that energy, dude.
Isn't this cool? Look at this rock and roll show. Well, I thought I would get dressed up for Pamela. I mean, listen, with the roads she's traveled, I mean, I feel kind of left out, I'll be honest with you. So I thought I would dress up a little rock and roll style, at least for a little bit.
Well, you should have wore your sports jacket, too.
Well, no, she's a rock and roller. She wants this kind of thing. Well, you know what? We can find out in a minute. I'm going to ask her personally, but let's bring our big brother to the mic right now. There he is. Look at this guy's hair. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if I like it. Number one.
It's a bit white right now.
I look at some of, the whole, even, what about this? What about this growing out?
It is growing out.
Well, if he does it white, you can't see it.
It's a little black and a little white, just like my hair. A little black and a little white.
You need some black in there. Otherwise, he did it. It was almost fading. You couldn't see it.
Yeah, and I saw this. I don't know, Ben, if you have this, but on your posts, your photo shoot that you had there. I mean, are you in GQ magazine now? What are you doing?
Dude, I'm posing for a mafia movie.
Well, I couldn't. I mean, I saw a couple of those pictures. Like, who's this freaking 49-year-old rock star wannabe?
Dude, it wasn't even touched up either.
I mean, I gotta say, jealousy aside, you look great. You really do. I mean, my God, you really look good. I mean,
hey, you want me to leave? What's going on with you two guys?
Well, I'll be honest. I got a little
this lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah, I got a little dressed up for Pamela too. See, I got my little sporty, little shiny stuff like you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we bring her on? Because we're all like we get our Sunday best on for. Well, I don't know what.
Hey, Ron, you smell good too.
Oh, look at that guy! Hey, there he is.
Look at this.
Nice looking. I should put the sunglasses on. I'll look just like that.
I don't know. I mean, this is some Colombian drug cartel guy. I don't even know who this is.
The other day when I went out, I had white pants on and a white shirt. Leslie said, my wife says, "You look like a drug cartel guy."
I know. That's what I'm saying. You do. And you're in Florida, right?
I'm trying to get in a couple of movies as a mafia dude, so leave me alone.
Yeah, but the drug cartel is like Metamucil, high blood pressure pills, cholesterol,
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
I mean, you could fit in real well, like a Miami. You gotta.
Look, I'm growing it. It's getting long. It's getting long, and it's going to be down to here soon.
Look at the money you're saving on purple dye. I mean, it's amazing.
That's true. I might put a little purple in there eventually. I don't know where. Maybe over here. I can't look up. Maybe here.
All right. What are we doing here? What kind of a show is this turned into all of a sudden?
We're talking about hair salon.
It's a hair salon.
This is a rock and roll show. Let's get some rock and roll.
Hey, Ron, it's a hair salon. You don't know about hair salons, so forget it.
I don't. I used to.
But you got it easy. You got it easy. You wake up.
Oh, this is easy? I would rather have it difficult like you, believe me.
Yeah.
I'd rather go through the pain.
I got to get up every day, wet my hair, and comb it back. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, that sucks for you. I just wiped mine down. I get out of the shower, my hair dries in exactly 13 seconds. All four of them. They're just done. Anyway, we're not going to talk about Metamucil or hair or lack thereof anymore. We got a rock and roll show here, a big rock and roll show. two legendary icons. Very interesting night tonight. First of all, I want to bring another one of your brothers behind the drums. Yeah, man. I tell you what, this guy, a great friend, a true legend, just like you guys. Let's bring Roger Earl from Foghat.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey,
That's a great hat.
Too.
Oh, Vinny, I've got a hat.
There you go. Let's put it down like that.
Hold on. Let me go get my hat.
No, you don't need a hat.
Hold on.
That is what's the story behind that hat?
It's
That's a good hat.
well,
That's
you
a
know,
great hat.
Look like a Hendrix hat.
Maybe that's your.
I need hats.
Maybe that's your new band.
Hold on a
Great
second.
hat.
Hey.
Yeah, there you
Fog hat, right?
No,
go. Fog hat. There you go. Fog hat.
no. That's his new band's called Great Hat. Look at it's pretty.
You know, we went out to dinner. We went out to dinner not long ago, and we both took a picture, you know, for Facebook. Right? Remember, Raj?
Yeah.
And I just got my white hair, and
That's
Rogers had his white
Looks
hair.
good on you.
Yeah, I like it. They bust my balls about it all the time. These guys.
And I mean, at least
It's jealousy,
you have to, right?
It's jealousy. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Are you kidding me? It's complete jealousy.
A la natural now. It's
Yeah, I
the
don't have to
natural look.
spend 4 hours in a hairdresser anymore. Every 4 weeks. Now
What a
just
way-
every
yeah.
3 months.
I
get
used
a
to
haircut.
be the band barber. I used to cut hair.
You
I
did?
always thought it, I
You
always
used to cut hair?
in having to pay somebody to cut your hair. It's like that's paying somebody to cut your hair.
But yours is getting pretty. Rogers, yours normally that long? I don't remember it that long. I mean, you let
Yeah,
it
it's
go.
always been that long.
That
Ron, if you got it, flaunt it.
No, I'm not doing a whole lot of flaunting these days. I'll be.
He doesn't
honest
know
with you.
that.
That's funny. You should say that. Vanilla Fudge did a TV commercial for Braniff Airlines. You remember Braniff Airlines?
Brandon,
And that
yeah.
was their slogan. When you got it, flaunt it. So 4 of us would walk on the plane and go, when you got it, flaunt it, and then walk past the camera. So ridiculous. Pay good money.
Everybody took their trousers down.
You got to
They
have
had-
it though.
They had the hot stewardesses. That's what they were flaunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of hot stewardesses, I think this is a great segue because we have a lovely young lady backstage. We're keeping her like waiting, and we can't. She's a lady in waiting right now, but she is iconic, legendary, and I tell you what.
Hold on.
All right, go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, please. A double. Oh, 3. Ladies and gentlemen. Triplets, artists on lockdown, Hangin' and Bangin' is proud to bring to the stage writer extraordinaire, groupie extraordinaire, Miss Pamela DesBarres. Nice.
Yeah, what a build-up that was.
My God, what an intro.
It's like having King Crimson in my
Again.
Yeah,
And how about you guys talking about your hair way more than girls do? I mean,
I know.
amazing.
Yeah,
we got some.
that's because they bust my balls every time we
The
do
bust
this
to my
show.
balls.
They
I
bust
think
my balls about it.
beautiful, Carmine.
Thank you.
Hold on. Pamela does
Thank
have
you.
nice hair, though, doesn't she?
Thank you.
We
Thank
all
you.
do. It's jealousy, Pam.
That's jealousy.
Oh,
Yeah, I went to the dentist yesterday. I had my teeth cleaned, right? And the woman said, I love your hair. It's beautiful.
You know, I had my prostate exam yesterday, and he said, "Man, you have a beautiful. I love your hair."
He
"You
said
got
Carmine's
beautiful
hair looks beautiful while he was up there. Boom.
in your hair.
It reminds me of Carmine's hair.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Pamela DesBarres, welcome to
Yeah,
the
welcome.
show. It's truly, I mean, you know, in your own way, obviously you're a rock and roll icon, and
In my own way.
yeah, I mean, it's hard.
I want to
It's
hear
hard-
the questions Ron has for you.
Yeah.
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 First of all,
I've been thinking about it all week. Well, what's he
I've been-
going to ask?
Well, you know, first of all, I can't imagine there's going to be anything that I'm going to ask you that you have never been asked 1,000 times already, because there's certain things everybody wants to know. But the first thing I want to know, present company excluded, because I know 2 minutes, you know, going back and forth with me, it's going to be, want to put me in one of her books. But present company excluded, is there anybody that you weren't had an experience with that you would have liked to?
Yeah, sure, of course. Although I usually got a hold of whoever I was into, because I was in the right place, the right time, the right age, the right city, right everything. But there were a couple, I suppose, that were married or with someone else, and I never jumped that train. I was very exclusive when I was being exclusive. Not that they were, but
That's what I was going to say.
and they were.
Well, I would imagine that many times, not only were they not exclusive, but you were probably looking over the guy at the other person.
No. I was never taken advantage of or messed with by anybody, really. I was right where I wanted to be. I was putting myself right where I wanted to be. Was never taken advantage of, but my heart got broken, like everybody's does. Though it's better to have your heart broken by Jimmy Page than the grocery boy or something.
Right, exactly.
Right. I mean, I enjoyed myself, and I had my own all girl group. So they had my own band, and I had people me play, believe it or not, at the Whiskey and places like that. And they'd come to the studio when Frank was producing our record. Like Jeff Beck played on our record, Rod Stewart sang on it, and interested. Lowell George interested. So it was just my world. It's a world I lived in.
What did you play, Pamela? What did you sing? You sang?
I co-wrote the songs with all the girls. Yeah.
Oh, cool. What was the name of it?
It was the GTOs.
Girls Together.
That's a good name for that.
It really is. And
I like
you know what?
I like the car.
Yes. We really have to preface the fact that this young lady is an author extraordinaire, of course. I would imagine your biggest seller is "I'm with the Band: Confessions of a Groupie."
Yeah.
And just the imagine. I mean, when I see the title and I read a few passages of it, you would think that they think of the groupie experience. It was a quickie. They didn't get your name. That kind of, you're just some girl backstage, but. It really came about that these were like relationships that you actually had with all these people.
It's all about love. I call it the G word, groupie, the G spot.
The G spot groupie.
Yes, it's just all about love. You love the music, the musicians who play the music. You want to be around it. You want to see where it comes from, out of their hearts and souls and minds. You want to be a part of it. And, I was just fortunate enough to be able to actually do my own record and everything. But just any groupie is just a muse for people. I'm sure you guys agree. You've been around a lot of girls, all of you, a lot of.
Yeah.
Not me. Carmine was
me.
him.
I'm the one.
He's the guy.
But anyway, you guys, you've experienced groupies, and they're just lovely girls. And some of them, like say Connie Hamsey, right? Sweet Connie from Little Rock.
Sweet Connie.
She would enjoy guitar techs and whoever, but it doesn't matter. She was a groupie. There are many different levels of groupies. She was enjoying herself. I wanted relationships. I wanted something important and meaningful. But whether it was an hour, I never did that kind of thing. But whether it was an hour with someone or, a month, it was still very wonderful experience for both parties, I'm sure. And I know it's a different time now. These aren't going on like they did in the golden age of rock, which we've all experienced. But, luckily I could write, and I wrote several books about these days. And I'm teaching writing right now. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. But people, of course, always want to talk about, Mick Jagger or whatever.
Did you ever meet an exciting venue owner with a really hot shirt on?
Is it working at all? Is the shirt working at all?
It has angel's wings or something, right?
Yes. Is it getting me any closer to you, Pamela?
No.
Ron's an angel. He is.
Because if it's not, if it's not working, I'll just take it off and just go down the road. I mean, if the shirt doesn't work,
that's the first time.
Nice T-shirt.
Yeah,
that's a real
shirt.
That's a real shirt. Finally,
I can put the other one back on if you're getting a little hot and bothered with it, Pamela. I mean, if it's working, I'd wear it for you.
For all you listeners, he's wearing a Foghat shirt. I always love that logo. Whoever designed that's really
that's a good logo.
Yeah.
It was actually the Warner Brothers art department on our Energized. I think it was their third album. They did that. A lot of people claim they did it. I actually, I used to be a commercial artist before earn enough money to sort of just bang the drum. And on one of our albums, I had to sort of redo the lettering for, was it Family Jewels? That was interesting. But yeah, it is a cool logo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And I want to touch on that a little bit, Roger, because I do know you're a graphic artist, and over the years, did you have any effect on any albums? Do you have any doings with some of the album covers or any of the artwork?
No, I was busy banging the drum.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
Well, you are hanging and banging, so.
Right. Now, I made suggestions about certain things, but it was just an excuse to pay for cymbals back in the day and pay for drums.
And
they were
sticks.
expensive, weren't they?
Yeah, they were expensive.
Yeah, especially those cymbals. But it's okay now because they give me that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, they do.
And it's funny
Now
because
they
every
do.
time you talk to drummers, they say that they're sponsored by somebody, whether Zildjian, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, do the drum companies make any money at all? Because every one of you are sponsored. I mean, I don't.
No,
How's
they
that
use
work?
your name. They use your name. There's some guy sees Roger Earl in Modern Drummer magazine playing a certain drum. They go, "Wow, that last record you did sounded great. I'm going to go and get a pair of those." I mean, I don't
Makes
get
sense.
it myself. I never did
Can
that.
you do paradiddles?
Paradiddles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do all the paradiddles.
That sounds
I
like
taught
some
Vinny all the
60s drug.
paradiddle.
Yeah, I love paradiddles actually. I don't like doubles. I love paradiddles.
No, I don't do doubles either.
We don't do doubles. That's for
No.
I like
What
paradiddles
about
or a little
Trixie?
basil and garlic for me. That's for me.
What about
That's the way to have
what
it.
about what, Roger? What about what?
Triplets.
Triplets, awesome.
Triplets.
All the time.
Yeah, triplets.
Everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Hey Roger, you remember we played together with? I was playing with Derringer.
Yes, I do remember that. And
We
Kenny
opened for you
plays
guys on.
bass.
Yeah,
Kenny
quite a
Hampton
number.
playing bass.
Yes.
That was a long time ago. I think that was the last time.
Yeah.
First time I met you.
Yeah, I think 75, probably 75,
Yeah.
76.
And the first time I met Roger, he was playing with Savoy Brown
Ah,
in the early 70s, and they had the singer with the top hat,
Yeah, Chris.
Chris. I always remember that top hat. I don't know why. That's when I met you. It was like 1970. I was with Cactus.
wow.
Yeah, it had to be 70. Had to be 69 or 70.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have
Pamela,
a ring.
I do
I
want
bought
to touch. I want
Yeah.
to go back a second to the GTOs because it was a little bit of a short-lived run for the band, but you had an album out. You worked with Zappa. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of people that actually worked with Zappa in that respect. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience working with Frank, the genius that he was?
Well, he always wanted to pull whatever was inside of you out, stuff you didn't even know was lurking in there. He made you want to do something for him. He made you want to do good for him. He made you want to do whatever he wanted you to do. He just had a real way about him that way. So he told us, the girls, go write about your lives. He thought our lives were really fascinating as teenagers in Laurel Canyon, and he just wanted to create something from it. He was a master puppeteer, that guy. He could control everybody's strings, including the musicians. I mean,
Yeah.
we were singers, songwriters, but I've spoken to, Mark and Howard, for instance, who were in the Mothers for a while. They said it was the best class in music that they could ever have gotten from anyone because he was such a hard taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Really was,
Did you ever hear his song he did called Mudshock?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I told him the story in Chicago airport, and never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that story would turn into a major song on a Mothers of Invention album called Mudshock.
You told Frank that story?
Yeah, because it happened. It was a Vanilla Fudge Led Zeppelin.
It was a real story.
It's a real story.
And the Mud Shark tale, but
Oh yeah.
fans who took advantage of that. It was a Seattle hotel, and you could
Yeah.
over
Yeah. over the water, the Edgewater Inn.
Edgewater Inn.
You can
Everybody
fish out
stayed there.
the window. You stayed there, right, Raj?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went
I stayed
fishing there, of course.
Yeah, yeah. You fish out
actually,
the window and you get the fish.
Yeah. And then you put them in the bathtub so the maids go,
yeah,
not another dog in the bathtub.
Well, they put the fish somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, it was many places, and it was quite a crazy experience. And it first started in John Paul Jones' room, and then it moved to my room, and then I had to vacate my room. It got so
and fumigate it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I moved my stuff in with Tim. You know, Tim had 2 beds. I said, I'm going in your room, dude. My room is wrecked. And then the next day we flying somewhere, and we landed in Chicago, and we ran into Frank and the mothers, and we were talking. I said, dude, man, what a crazy night last night. I told him about the story. The next thing I know, it's on his album. You know? And I had a girlfriend back home, right? And she says, were you involved? I said, nope.
That didn't work out well. Yeah. No, what are you talking about?
I would never do that.
Never.
No, I didn't do that.
You were never that kind of boy, were you, Carmine?
No, I wasn't.
No,
absolutely. It was hilarious.
He wouldn't do that.
I love Frank. I talked to him 2 weeks before he passed away, and we were going to get together, and I had to do a drum clinic tour, and I went out, and while I was out there, he passed away. You know, what a cool guy.
We had Dweezil on the show.
Yeah.
Remember?
Just a few weeks ago,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Really, really cool, man. That's just one of those, again, legends and icons, but another one of those guys you just don't, it's hard to imagine just how many lives he affected, you know, musically speaking, just in careers. Just incredible, especially being part of the whole LA.
He was one of the first
scene.
rock stars to start his own label, you know.
Yeah.
He had his whole label. He had a studio,
pioneer.
a proper studio in his house.
Yeah.
You know, right? Is that what, did you work in his house?
No, well, we did some of the spoken word stuff there, but he had a studio out in Glendale that all of his early records and the GTOs, you know, Alice Cooper and his early, on Bizarre Straight, his label. Yeah.
All the Laurel Canyon stuff that started because of him. I mean, my gosh.
Oh, I know. Laurel Canyon, he was at the center of everything right there at Lookout and Laurel, and all the doors were open. It was an old log cabin built by Tom Mix in the 1920s. The GTOs, we wrote our songs, you know, down in the basement, which was actually a bowling alley where Tom Mix had buried his horse under there, his beloved horse. So we wrote our songs in that bowling alley and took turns bowling.
Oh, that's funny.
And the smell was awful. Roger, you know, and you know this too because you guys are playing. We'll talk about this a little bit later, coming by us with Savoy Brown, and so Savoy Brown, you start with the band. You, Dave, and the other guys start out with the band, and it's got such like almost a Chicago blues influence out in England.
We'd be nothing without Chicago.
Well, you know, that's where I'm getting at right now. But how did it, I mean, how did you guys, how was that? I mean, there's no internet, there's no that kind of stuff. So, you know, how did you guys get that music filtered to you back? You're talking about, you know, 64, 65, 66, and 67 is when you started Savoy.
Actually, I belonged to a record company in Chicago when I was 16 years old. I just started working as a junior artist in central London.
Was it Chess?
It's a club in Chicago, and once a month or whatever, they would send me a list of all the records they had, and there was Howlin' Wolf, and I said, "This guy has to be fucking great with a name like that."
Yeah, what a name!
I ordered it. It cost me a fortune, but I got Howlin' Wolf, then Muddy. But I found the Muddy Waters album in England. I saw it advertised somewhere on this piece of paper they used to send to us, and it was like it was like had an honesty about it that nothing I'd ever heard. Have you ever heard of Muddy Waters at Newport in 1961? Francis Clay was his drummer, and I'm listening to this record when I'm like 16 years old, and I'm going, oh dear, this is it.
Have you heard the Howlin' Wolf? This is the Electric album.
Yeah, that was all right.
This is with Evil on it, and Morris Jennings was a drummer. Man, I mean, Jeff Beck gave me that record.
Yeah.
And he said him and Jimmy Page were glued to that record. I could hear Led Zeppelin all over that record.
Oh, hell yeah. They were heavily influenced by it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, America is where all contemporary music comes from. Jazz, blues, rock and roll, country.
Disco.
Rap. Contemporary.
This is where it comes from. This is the land of music. You know, where I grew up, what did we have? Hey Nonny Nonny. Right. Now, Jeff Beck would have probably made that sound good. Now, this is the land of music. This is why I moved here. And even today, I think, America influences the world of music. You know, you got Afghani rappers, Japanese rappers, French rappers, and R&B artists. I mean, we still influence the world. I say we because this is my adopted home. And
gotcha.
I love this country.
And we adopted you.
Right on.
But as much as you love the blues, and as much as that had obviously a huge impact on your career, you still wanted to give it a little bit more of an edge to it, a rockier edge, and that's how Foghat was born.
Yeah, I think 3 people here would agree. Turn the fucking drums up.
Yeah, man.
Always. That's a big problem these days. The way they mix things. They forget there's a bass drum, especially the bass drum.
Right.
It's like,
and cymbals. Where's the cymbals? In the mix.
We need some thunder in there.
Some thunder.
Yeah.
Pam, do you mind if I call you Pam, or is it Pamela all the time?
No, it's Pamela.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Again, we're talking about relationships in your books and earlier, and I thought it was real interesting how it seemed you made it sound like Jimmy Page, rock and roller, rock star, probably had girls here and there, all over the place, but you made him sound so romantic. Was he such a romantic dude like that?
Yes, he was very romantic. In England, they call it giving you all the lines, and he was very, very good at it. He meant it at the time, I do believe, but later for my 3rd book, Let's Spend the Night Together, I interviewed a lot of other girls, and I found out that all the beautiful things he was saying to me, Chariot is going to come by in Pangburn, the peacocks and this. He was saying the same thing to them. And, but
it's like it was like an arrangement.
At a different time.
Like a musical arrangement.
That had to be a little bit of a heartbreaker.
Yes, he was a heartbreaker. He was. And I think he enjoyed that part of it too, actually.
Isn't that one of their songs?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Heartbreak.
Well, is it, what about guys?
Rolling Stones.
Right, Mick Jagger. Now, the other side of Mick Jagger, was he as
romantic? I never thought, I never thought we were madly in love or anything. We just had a very hot time together. We were young and, hot. So, we just enjoyed each other, for a couple, 3 years here and there in London, LA, and San Francisco and all over. But my other main dude was a drummer, Keith Moon. He was a very...
Oh, what was that like?
He was,
my God.
Pretty unforgettable. He today he called bipolar.
Keith Moon, the loon, they used to call him.
No medication for him then, that's for sure. So he medicated himself. There were times that I had to help medicate him just so he would go to sleep. Thank you. Oh my God. He didn't sleep much, and I spent a couple of weeks with him at a hotel in Century City because he was kicked out of every single hotel in LA and Beverly Hills and Hollywood. And so we had to go to Century City, and he actually pretended, along with his fabulous roadie, who went in before us and said, I have Mr. Moon here. He is a count from some country he made up. He would like to stay in the penthouse, and Keith was standing there. You guys can picture it.
Yeah.
And let's say beat us. in those days they couldn't look up Count so and so from some country that didn't exist.
Yeah, there was no Google.
And we got tweet for 2 weeks, and luckily he had to be there and was not kicked out. And we had a really special time. The most funniest thing was, though, there was a fountain across the street, huge fountain, still there at Century Plaza. Yeah. And he had me stand out on the balcony one afternoon. He said, "I'm going to show you something." That was always dangerous. And I stood out there, and I saw him hustle across the street with a giant a box of Tide detergent.
Oh, no.
And
he poured it in the fountain.
He dumped it around the whole fountain and hustled back. And we got to watch it. It was, literally blocks of bugs. And
how cool!
Cars stopped in both directions for a mile in each way, and he was never caught. And that's what he loved. When he could get away with stuff, he was imp. He was just so joyous.
We did some, not as crazy as that, but I forgot what it was. We were in a Beverly Hills hotel, and Keith said, "Hey, come on, let's have a drum battle." I said, "Well, Keith, there's no drums." He goes, "Oh, could use this TV." It was a big, like wooden TV. So he turned it over on its side, and he goes, "Come on," and he starts. "Now you." He gives me sticks, so I'm banging on the TV. We destroyed that TV, the wood on
bet. Oh my God.
That TV, and wouldn't be one of the reasons maybe he got thrown out of that Beverly Hills hotel because we destroyed that television. Back in those days, as you know, Roger, we used to do hotel damaging. I was going to call my book International Guide to Hotel Wrecking. Instead, I called it Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. Stick it, my Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. But we used to do stuff. It got to the point with Cactus that the manager said, "Look, I want to know who wrecks what. So I don't charge Carmine if Tim Bogert wrecks something." So it got to the point where, so he said to the tour manager, "I want you to keep tabs on who wrecks what." Okay. So Tim Bogert would call up the tour manager and go, "Excuse me, Mark, can you come in the room for a minute?" He comes in, picks up the TV out the window. He goes, "Tim, one TV." And then Dwayne Hitchings or whoever else was doing it. It was so hilarious. It got stupid after a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys did it as well, Roger.
It becomes like a competition.
I have a story about Keith that shows a warmer side of him. It was I was in Savoy Brown. We're playing down on the south coast of England, and in Southend, I think, in a ballroom. It was during their Pictures of Lily, I think his drum kit was. Anyway, Savoy Brown had done their sound check, and I was sort of sitting there. And Keith comes in. He's got a whole bunch of New Zildjian cymbals under his arms, and I'm sitting there. And he gives me a nod. Says, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm sitting there, and it's Keith Moon. So I used to see them since I was 17. I think the first time I saw him. Anyway, we're sitting there talking, and he takes a cymbal off. There's nothing wrong with it. It's dirty. And he said, "Yeah, you want this?" And I go, Yes, please. Now, this is when I'm getting £12.50 a week. He takes another one off and puts his new cymbals up there. He says, "You want this one?" I go, "Yes, please." And then I think I had 3 or 4 cymbals he took off because they were dirty. Now, here I am earning £12.50 a week, wife and kid to keep. And Keith Moon's giving me, I don't know, a couple of £1,000 worth of cymbals. And I'm going,
"That's awesome,
man."
Yeah, that's cool.
I did meet him a number of times after that, and I used to get up and jam on Magic Bus, but you had to be careful towards the end of it when everything would go over the place. Yeah. But when he was in a relatively sober mood, he was a very warm, funny man. Yeah. I enjoyed his company from time to time. He was.
I got another crazy story about him, right? Remember, Tony Williams had a group called Lifetime. It had Jack Bruce in it, John McLaughlin, all the really top, amazing players. They played at a place in the city called Unganos, right, in New York City.
Unganos, I know.
Yeah, I remember Unganos. So
I remember.
So we're all there, all the rock musicians are in there to see this, this band. So Keith comes in, and they're playing. So on the side of the stage, there's a very little stage. It's only about that high. It's a club. So Keith gets on the left side of the stage, pulls his pants down, right? And then his pants are on his ankles, and he just waddles right across the front of the stage to the other side and stops.
Sounds about right.
Pants up and goes and sits down.
That's
so funny.
So him. So
right.
Like he got away with that one.
Because he could.
Wasn't it the Rascals playing in London and Dino Danelli's bass drum was moving and Keith got up and sat in front of it to hold it?
That's about right.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Wow, that's cool.
Where did I hear that? I thought it was
do stuff like that.
He would do that. He would do that.
The bass drum was moving. He just got up and sat with his back toward the bass drum and held the bass drum for him. I don't know where I heard that.
Yeah.
Pamela, I wanted to ask you.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
And your other book, Take Another Little Piece of My Heart, again, it seemed like you were really involved with, trying to get involved from a relationship standpoint. I mean, was there anybody that you really thought that, I think this is going to go all the way, one of the celebrities?
Well, I married Michael DesBarres, and I certainly that was going to last forever. But, we were in our early 20s when we met, and it didn't last forever.
Yeah.
But we have a son very close today. I loved his band, Silverhead. I loved all his bands. And now he's a disc jockey. Just doing so well. So, yes, in a way, it did last forever because we're still very close.
I like Detective.
Yeah,
he used to live in he used to live in the apartment next to me in Hollywood, and I used to hear him singing in the shower.
The Sunset Tower?
No, it was on Hayworth Street, right off Sunset.
Oh, well, that's when I was with him. Yeah. We lived there together.
There was a bathroom with a window which overlooked nothing, and then everybody had a window, and I hear these singing, and a couple of guys from the Babies lived in that building, and it was a pretty funny building.
Yeah. Well, that was a beautiful building. I remember it.
Yeah.
Did you have I got to ask you about Jim Morrison. I mean, that's got to be, was that very long-lived, or was that a short
Well, the
experience?
friendship was, but he was pretty much a one-woman man,
Really?
Pam Corson. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he dallied a little bit, but a couple times I could hang out with him when they were fighting, which kind of often. But I spent time with him when he was very early on, even before the first album came out. And my experience with him as a makeout partner was brief. But, even then he said, I know this is a temporary thing. I'm a poet. And he carried his poetry book with him everywhere. He read out of it for me, on several different occasions. And that's where his heart was. And he got all caught up in that and just started drinking. He became a really terrible alcoholic. And that's basically what kind of wrecked him. He just wasn't happy doing what he was doing. That's not what he expected his life to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said that drinking. Roger grabbed his glass of wine.
I know, Roger's good.
Well, not when I'm playing.
No, Roger's probably you have to have a drink.
Right? When we're playing
from the pub days.
Straight, the music is enough. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like people playing drunk. I mean, that's
I know.
Well,
slows you down.
Me, it happens.
I might have played with a couple of hangovers, but no, we never get fucked up before we play.
Yeah.
I love playing.
Unless you have
nice noise.
Foghat wine there, because
Pardon?
Foghat wine. Unless you have Foghat wine there.
Oh, is that Foghat wine?
It's nearly empty though.
There it is. That's the real deal.
There's the commercial.
Oh,
Commercial,
where can I get that wine?
We'll send her some.
Online for sure.
Online, okay.
We'll get your address with Linda, our manager. And
hey, watch out, Rod. You're married.
You like red or white, Pamela?
Red.
Red. We got a Pinot Noir, 2013 Pinot Noir from Monterey County. They will come from Central Coast of California. That's where we pick our grapes and make our wine. We have a winemaker, Steve Rasmussen, who helps us out. But Linda and I have actually gone out there and made the grapes, made the wine.
Wow.
There's a second one that we had. Bumblefoot makes taco sauce. And now we got Roger does wine.
Yep.
Well, does anyone else have that we had food? I can't remember.
There's
I know me and Vinny gonna have to do a pasta.
Yes.
Beat your brothers pasta.
Yeah. I got
Pasta
my meatballs.
sauce.
Pasta.
Ron's
Oh, what
meatballs.
happened to Pamela?
Uh-oh.
We lost Pamela.
While we get Pamela. You know what, Roger? We're going to wait for let Pamela get back. But I did have a question for you because, we've known each other for so many years, worked together so many times. And I'm looking at some of, obviously, you've done thousands of shows. And so many of them you were part of packages. I mean, you literally played with everybody.
Right.
But a couple I thought were interesting was Kool and the Gang. I don't know how that happened with Foghat. And
I love Kool and the Gang.
We love Kool and the Gang. I don't know.
Kool and the Gang was great. They're still around actually, but they were great. Yeah,
but you either go to a Kool and the Gang show or you go to a Foghat show. You don't go to a Kool and Gang Foghat. I mean, how does that?
That's got to be a crazy combination.
Who was that promoter out on the West Coast with the Fillmore and the Fillmore?
Bill
Graham.
Bill Graham.
Thank you. That was what was so cool about Bill Graham's concerts. He would have different bands on. The Voices of Harlem, Savoy Brown, and Buddy Rich's big band.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
we did it. We did a gig. Buddy Rich
I
and Vanilla
loved
Fudge.
working with Bill Graham. He was
good.
incredible. In fact, he said. I remember one time he said to us, he said, "Foghat," he said, "I think they like to play more than they like to breathe." But maybe it was drinking. But Bill Graham was something else. I mean,
He was a good guy.
absolutely.
Motors. He really.
But
did.
let me.
Matter of
Let me
fact,
ask you
there
another
was
one,
some Ron. There was some strange things. Like we did a gig, Vanilla Fudge, and Fifth Dimension.
Wow.
We did a gig with a gig at the Singer Ball. Vinny, you probably went to it.
The Staple Singers.
The Edwin Hawkins Singers.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
10
Edwin
years
Hawkins
after
Singer.
Jeff Beck Group and Vanilla Fudge. I go, whoa, that was a crazy bill.
Wait, I got a better one.
What?
Which I'm a big fan of this guy, and I still can't figure it out. It was in Kentucky. I don't know if you remember. This is in 1973. Foghat with Louis Prima.
Wow.
Oh my God.
How did that happen?
And, what was his singer's name? What was her name?
Keely Smith.
Keely Smith. Thank you. Keely, I thought was cool. Keely was really cool.
How did that happen, though?
I don't know. It's music.
I don't know. Just a promoter and agent.
You always had great drummers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would have done that. I would have
And
gone to that show.
what about Foghat opening up for BBA?
For who?
For Beck
Did that
Bogan and the
happen?
Beats.
Good idea.
Yeah. We did that.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
Did you?
We
do
did a
that?
gig. We did Dio in Japan with James Brown.
Oh,
Wow.
no, really?
Dio, Quiet Riot, somebody else, James Brown. Talk about a mix-up.
Yeah, that's like we did a gig in Mexico with Acapulco, the Acapulco Festival. Quiet Riot, King Cobra, and LaToya Jackson.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a weird one.
Why not? Come on.
Well, at some point it becomes it's just a party. It's like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction where everybody's playing at the end, whatever it is. Roger,
did you see LaToya's band or listen to them?
No, actually, because she went on before us, and it was a festival.
Okay.
And we got there just in time for us to go on just about. But it was quite a crazy festival because it was starved for music in those days, and it was like the Beatles were there, with all the acts. It went crazy for everybody.
Yeah.
crazy, man.
And my band were all blonde guys, and we're in Mexico.
I really enjoy going down there. it's fun. It's a cool place to go.
Bike fest.
Yeah, we went to a bike fest there.
Bike fest. Wow.
Yeah, that was good.
1971, Foghat begins. Here we are, 50 years later. You're still performing. You're still on the road. You're still putting records out. You've got your new one out. Was it 8 days on the road?
Oh, hold on. We're going to plug.
Another commercial. Jesus, Raj.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, you know what? I love.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold it up.
Hold it up.
Hold on.
You got a close up.
You get your money's worth with this.
Whoa, look at that.
CDs,
Wow.
DVD.
And how much is that? $2.99.
No, $1.99. We're giving them away.
$199. You're saying
8 days on. We recorded it.
That's great.
At the end of 19, I think, at Daryl's House Club, upstate New York.
But if you order now, you get one of Ron's shirts too, right?
and
the first
a
10
box of meatballs.
The first 10 callers.
Yeah. It's $1.99 and the T-shirt is free.
Let me tell you something.
You get Ron.
Hey?
You get Ron.
You get me.
You get him. You get his other shirt too.
But I got to tell you, and I want to ask you why you selected this song, because Charlie's and your rendition of "Take Me to the River," freaking awesome.
Thank you.
It's
awesome.
To the river.
Yeah, but you got to see their rendition. What made you pick that song?
I'm an Al Green fan. Actually, it was Lonesome Dave who originally picked that song, but some people thought maybe we'd ruined it. But Al Green made some great music. And he had a great too.
Who was the drummer? What was his name?
Forgotten.
Oh, I forgot his name.
They're all over the place, drummers.
I used to know his name.
He's always been with him.
That was great.
His snare drum always sound like a tom-tom almost.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
great feel.
In fact, when I recorded
Al
in the studio, I added the tom-tom with the snare drum. So you got that.
Let's look it up. Hey, Mancow's listening to the show.
Al.
There he is.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mancow. We got to get you on here, Mancow. Got to get you on our show, brother.
Now, if you get Mancow on, we don't get a chance to talk.
He's got the stories, definitely.
He does. I saw him on TV with his collection of collectibles. He had a lot of rock collectibles on.
Really does. We lost Pamela. We lost the internet, and I really wanted to ask her about her freaking Playboy layout. She was posed nude in Playboy, and I want to see if she did that voluntarily or it's kind of.
Do you have a copy of that, Ron?
I have it in a very quiet place where I'm quiet and alone. Yes, I do.
Wait, toilet? In your toilet?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Raj, are you guys going to be doing anything with the Earl and the Agitators project that I'm a personal fan of?
No, because nobody's going to give us any money.
Well, that's a tough one.
We have to fly, the 5 band members out somewhere, and it's like these promoters only want to give you like $200 or $300, and it's like we can't do it. Actually, we've started working on a new studio album, and I think Scott's probably going to sing on a couple of songs, and I've already talked to him about playing a couple of songs. And
what a great talent he is!
Yeah, he is. He's a great singer, great guitar player, and a fabulous human being, and warm and sensitive too. Yes, he is. He's warm and sensitive too.
Is there somebody? I know there was somebody that you wanted to play with and didn't. A little guy by the name of Jimi Hendrix, apparently.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
Fame at Last. Yeah, no, that was auditioned. I think I came in 5th.
5th. Oh my gosh.
They got the right drummer though.
Oh yeah.
Mitch is
I wasn't.
He was awesome.
Oh yeah, that trio.
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
But how did you get how did you get even able to what's the word, audition? How do you audition for Jimi Hendrix?
I played in a band that Ches Chandler was putting together when I was like 17 or 18. I was already in a band, but I was looking for more work, wanted to play. Ches Chandler put this band together, we rehearsed for about 6 weeks, but didn't go out and play anywhere. And he had my number. I was working as a commercial artist up in London. What was I, 19 or 20. And he called me up and said, "Have you heard of this guy, Jimi Hendrix?" And, everybody was talking about him, the guitar players at the time. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Would you like to audition?" So I did. It was a club just off of Piccadilly Circus called the Bluebird.
Birdland.
And what did you play?
Birdland. Thank you.
Birdland, sure.
Birdland.
Birdland. What did you play? What song?
Raining outside, and we're all lined up. It was a lunchtime thing, and Jimmy comes up to me and starts talking to me about some songs he'd written the night before, and real friendly guy. And when I got down there, I was about 4th or 5th in line, and he just started playing. He had his stack of Marshalls, and it was I'd never heard anything, that sort of heard anything like that before, and it
distorted.
Took a little while to sort of figure out what to do. And then he played a slow blues, and then a Chuck Berry song, and then he did something else. And he was very generous with his time. I'd probably play for about 45 minutes with him.
Really?
Beautiful man, really, really cool guy. And
we used to play in New York, and he was Jimmy James.
Jimmy
James in the Blue Flames, and he played these clubs that we played, and we played opposite him, and and he was always had his mind on making it, where the rest of us just wanted to play gigs and have a good time and make a living, But he was always flamboyant. He used to have his hair slicked back like mine is, right? And it was Jimmy James. He played lefty. He always had flamboyant clothes, And there were 3 guys in New York that played like that. There was him, this guy, a session guy called the Wizard, and this guy Ronnie Lejack who used to play with us. And Ronnie used to poke holes in his speakers on the amp to make it distorted, And Jimmy did, different things, but he was amazing. But he had to go to England to make it.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't making it here.
How would you guys, any of you guys, compare? Even though this is not a drummer question, but you knew these guys. How would you compare Jimmy with Frank? Would you say they're similar? Would you say they're very different, their styles? From your experiences with them?
I think they're different, number one. Frank was more of a technical genius, writing music, writing concertos and pieces of music. With Jimmy, it was all feel and blues and he played guitar upside down, lefty, because that's how he learned. He was totally original, out of the box.
Right.
Totally original, out of the box from everything. He was a great singer for what he did, but he wasn't like a great singer, like a Ronnie Dio, or a great singer, or
he fit himself.
He
did himself a fit.
But he sang what he sang was great for what he did, whereas Frank was a different animal. Frank was just really more out of the box, technically. Technical music.
I don't think you can compare either two of them. I sometimes get a little concerned about comparing people because Jimmy was unique, as was Frank. There was never another.
Oh, big time.
And there was, even though some people can maybe cop some of Jimmy's licks, there's only one Jimi Hendrix and there's only one Frank Zappa. They were real special musicians and human beings, and we were fortunate to have them for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, not long enough, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Who was with the drummer? We know these guys between Krupa and Buddy Rich, these two guys. But who was your American hero, Roger?
I grew up listening to. Actually, I listened to Gene Krupa. One of the first records I had was Jazz at the Philharmonic with Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. But it was really the music. Earl Palmer used to play on all the early Little Richard records.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fantastic. He went on to sort of
Keep a Knockin' was the beginning of rock and roll.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah.
Francis Clay really impressed me. Like, but he played with the early Muddy Waters records. That really knocked me out. Not that I could play like him, but the way he played knocked me out. Freddie Below, who did all the Chess records with,
Studio
Chuck
guy.
Berry and all that stuff from then.
Did you ever go to the Chess Records Museum?
No, I haven't been there. No.
Next time you play Ron's place and you're in Chicago, you should go check that out.
All right, I'm going to do that.
Cool.
Yeah,
we'll do that. We'll take it down.
What time we getting?
Yeah, because it's pretty cool. We recorded our BBA record there.
Did you?
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, we did that because Jeff was like you. Jeff listened to all those things, and he said, "I want to record in Chicago. I want to record at Chess Records." And I tell you what, I got a great drum sound there.
Oh yeah, and it still has, it has Leonard Chess's desk, and it still has. It's kind of how Motown is still kind of set up the way, like the Temptations just dropped it.
I've been to Motown. I've been there. That was like walking on.
Yeah, that's an experience.
That was something. I went there with. Who did I go there with when I was doing?
Derek.
Yeah, with Derek St. Holmes when I was doing.
Oh wow!
Oh, Derek, yeah. I love Derek.
He's a great singer, great guitar player too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A nice guy and a good guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Got to get him on the show. We haven't had him.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I called him, and he's kind of flaked out. I'm gonna call him again.
Call him again.
I'll push him.
Yeah, let's call him again.
No, push him.
He deserves
and that's Linda back there. She's the real pusher. She's the one that makes all this stuff happen. The unsung hero of Foghat. Right? Where is she?
There she is.
There she is.
Hey, Linda.
Keeping an eye on me. It's a shame we lost Pamela.
Yeah. What happened?
What happened?
She's supposed to be
an issue.
somewhere around there.
Does anyone know what happened?
I read her book, and I would like to meet her. I think she's very cool.
Have her come back on the show for half a show or something.
We do. She's got some great stories. I was going to touch on some other things, just like really.
I bet you were, Ron. I bet
you
you
were.
I have a
Take it
question.
easy.
When did you read the books, Ron?
At about 4:00.
I read it a couple of years ago. I just thought it was really cool. I thought they were really cool, and I have a lot of friends from back then that were groupies. Whatever
Linda wasn't a groupie.
But whatever the word groupie means, but I just thought they were very cool women, So.
Bandmates.
Band-Aid.
We used to call them groupies. We call them groupies. I think didn't Frank Zappa coin that word groupie? He might have.
I don't know.
We used to definitely call groupies. It was easier, And then the movie came out, the Groupie movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I knew them.
Well, you knew them all, and that's going to be a show for another time, so we can talk about all the groupie stories. But you can't now, with Linda there, with Leslie there. We can't talk about it. We can't talk about it.
Actually, I always like to, just one girl. I usually had a girlfriend. There's a couple of times when I had two girlfriends, but most of the time it was just one.
Most of the time, except for those nights.
I had one girlfriend at a time too, except when I was on the road. There weren't really girlfriends. They were
one at a time. One at a time. One at 6 o'clock, one at 8 o'clock, one at 10 o'clock. One at a time.
More than one at a time, John. The old days.
Well, listen, Roger.
I have no comment.
Yeah,
no comment.
Talk about Vinny's record. Well, we don't have time to talk about Vinny's record.
I must say, I went to the doctor today, and I lost 10 pounds during the pandemic.
Yay!
Really?
Whereas
I found it.
Here, everybody's gaining weight and all that.
I stayed the same.
You stayed the same?
Can we get off this subject, please? Can we please get off this subject? Can we please?
Subject?
You want to go back to talking about good hair again? What is this? You guys come?
Actually, Ron? How's your cholesterol doing?
It's
with all those meatballs and everything.
I know, man.
The meatballs are great.
He's the best.
They're waiting
all
for
the time.
You guys,
he's the best.
Thank you. July 17th, we are bringing back Foghat and Savoy Brown at the Arcada Theater. We are so excited.
Show?
Wow, that's
on the
cool.
same show. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, like having Cactus and Vanilla Plug.
Our first show in pretty much a year and a half. We did do one other, but
we're gonna be your first show.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we did one other show, but we haven't really played in a year and a half. We did some rehearsing. We were down in the studio, like setting up the drums to record again. We're going to go down there for like 4 or 5 days before we come there, so we can count to 4. Is it 4?
You mind if we come down to your studio and rehearse Vanilla Fudge? Because
sure, of course you can.
Because
the only
Ron, I think that gig you're talking about, if we do those dates, that's Vanilla Fudge first show too.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
You know, see, that's a good thing because with me, you can do no wrong. You could mess up. You could do this. We both.
I think you should go up cold. It would be more interesting. All the bands don't rehearse, and everybody plays their first gig, and see what train wreck. See what train wreck happens.
First gig, no rehearsal. Here we go.
No rehearsal.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, that's the wrong counting, Rog. Fuck you. I'm the drummer. I count, and then you start playing.
See, I'm okay with that as long as it's not. That's the wrong song, Roger. You know, I don't.
It's not on my list.
Oh my God.
Well, what does it say on your list? No, we've done that before because a couple of us are somewhat hearing challenged, and a couple of us can't read the set list either. So
it's got to be bigger font now.
Big cue cards.
You know,
not set list or cue cards.
You counted that one off rather fast, Rog. Well, I was feeling in the mood. Yeah, but it was no blues. Oh
well. Roger, thank you so much for being a part of Hangin' and Bangin' this week. For me, I know all of us, it's a thrill, but obviously for me personally, it's such a thrill just knowing that you're going to be by me, next week, basically.
Well, I'm gonna give you a big kiss.
I can't wait
because we haven't been able to hug for a year and a half, and so it's nice to be back out there. I will be wearing my mask.
Sure. Me too. It reminds me, then the last time you were by me, listen to this, guy. So I got a very good friend of mine. It was his birthday. And his birthday was on the night before a Foghat show. And his wife wanted to have a surprise party at my place, 150 people. She didn't know how to get him there. So I told him, this is what I told him. I said, hey, man, and he's a guitar player. I said, hey, Mike, I said, Foghat's coming tomorrow, and Brian isn't going to make it. I don't know if you remember this, Roger. I said, Brian isn't going to make it. They asked me to come up with a guitar player that you can, or a bass player, or somebody that can come in and fill in for Brian Bassett. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you got to go there. So you got to go to theater. The guys, Roger's coming early. They're going to have a rehearsal. So he comes from down. So I didn't realize he took the train to work downtown. He's got his 2 guitars on the train, goes to work downtown, takes 3 trains to get out to St. Charles, shows up, and then it's like, surprise. It's like, surprise. I'm not playing guitar for Foghat. So the next day, Roger, I don't know if you remember that. It was kind of cruel.
I didn't know you were so cruel, Ron.
No, you got me back because the next day.
Well, did Roger get up and let him play?
No, because that wasn't. So he wasn't even there. It was just he wasn't even there. I know you would have. The next day, so my friend, I bring him back. I felt bad, so I brought him backstage to Roger's show, and the Foghat show was great. And my friend told him the story, and Roger's response: "You believed him? He's a promoter. He's a liar. Promoters are liars." So you got me back on that.
No, Ron, you are in the higher echelon of promoters.
Yeah.
Well,
consider you a friend and fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I love you guys. All of you. Linda, love you. Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see everybody each week, Thursday night here on Hangin' and Bangin', Artists on Lockdown, where we talk to some of the biggest names in rock and roll. We just jam with them. We just talk with them. We just have some conversations that you can't have anywhere else. So make sure you like, share, tell everybody about Hangin' and Bangin', Artists on Lockdown each week, Thursday night, 6 o'clock Central Time, right here. Same bat channel, same bat station. Next week, we're going to do a very surprise rerun. We got a couple of favorites here that people have been asking for, so we're going to throw that on next week. But until then, and until the week after, we'll see you right here. Thanks again, Pamela DesBarres, and also Roger Earl from Foghat. We'll see you guys next week and the week after. Artists on Lockdown, hanging and banging.